Something with a frying pan. Leap tall buildings with a single van. I don't know. Psycho Dad, Psycho Dad, Psycho Dad. Hello. Give me a moment here. Reading a little something. Wow. Well, okay. Just don't mind me as I read some stuff in real time. That I'm not gonna. This is not gonna be commented on. Just very disappointing. But you're gonna be disappointed. What's up, Big Cat Homeboy? Didn't see you today, and that's okay. Man, that little message that was sent to me really just put a bad taste in my mouth. But as many of us learn, things happen that we wish would not, and you march forward. Hello, Queen Survivor. Hello, Cindy D. My son's life mattered. Mutated illustration. Hello, one and all. Shabbat shalom. I guess for a lack of a better anything, I'm gonna just dig right in. You see the title, obviously, and I want. Well, this actually the timing could be. Holy snap, Kenneth Medina. This is an OG brother from another mother right here. Haven't seen this G Money in quite some time. He was watching Josh and I way back in the heyday when we had to walk 15 miles in the snow from a van down by the river just to start a fire near a volcano by the old school. 15 miles in the snow. Okay. And hey, graffiti removal expert fella, what's up, my man? All right. I guess I'm just gonna use this since it just so happened to be in front of me. And yeah, Shamrock, who will not be silenced, she sent me this thing here, and it's just the timing's impeccable because, man, I gotta be transparent. The thing that I just saw, it texted to me, that's gonna bother me, but I cannot let that. There'll be transparency, and there will be a live very soon where other people will be here to speak on things. But for now, it's petty, it's small, and the larger issues at hand merit our attention far more. So forgive me while I'm not looking at the chat, but let me see this. This was sent. Shamrock is sharp. Okay, she sent me this maybe I don't know 2 days ago, and then today I'm on my break and I'm watching. I think a live clip where I think I don't know if it was. I know, you know what? I'm damn sure it wasn't the FBI. And as is typical, it's usually, and as it was today, no difference in example. The GOP demanding justice and justice in an equal way. I still get into these stupid circular arguments where people are just like, yeah, no, but Trump, but Trump, but Trump. How many witch hunts and how many tax dollars and how many indictments do need to be, fed into this nonsense just to what? Prevent him from being on the ticket? And it seems like there's a lot of people, like, I treat my ability to serve my community as an opportunity to get insight from everyday Americans. There's a lot of people that still believe, despite all of the troubles, that Trump has somehow got this in the clutch, man. And I express my concerns about a DeSantis versus Trump ticket. They don't share this concern. I hope I am the only one that thinks that could fraction the base, and I don't get very positive responses when I say, yeah, RFK gets my attention. So anyway, check this out. Senator Chuck Grassley, it's first time reading it, but I love the timing based on the announcement today. Releases FBI's FD 1023 alleging Joe Biden's involvement in $5 million bribery scheme as vice president. Going back to Buddy Joe when it was like a buddy cop movie, Obama and Joe Biden. So the FD 1023 from alleging then VP JB was involved. Yes, I just read that aloud. So here's documentation. I believe that's quite important. Am I right? I'm right. So this is evidence by no other name, simply put. And okay, from the Oversight Committee. Good, and I can't help it. I'm gonna segue not into the Joe Biden clip yet. Okay, I wanna kind of show you yet another example of the DNC, and I speak as an ex Democrat, and there is no qualms about it. I love how some people try to insult me. Say you were a Tifa member. That's hilarious. Oh, hold on. Let me see. There's some redacted. We actually can maybe get a read on this stuff. Okay, Ukrainian. So that means YouTube is going to put me against the algorithm. I'm getting really, really used to that every single video, even my videos, which was a review for the movie The Blackening. There is nothing I said that was not appropriate. YouTube has outwoke itself. Its own algorithm one day is going to cancel itself, and YouTube is going to ban itself. Watch. YouTube, have you struck yourself down yet? So, all right, let me see this. I remember this with Burisma. So on June 26, 2020, CHS Redacted reported the following. First meeting with Burisma executives in Kiev, Ukraine, 2015-2016. In late same years apply. During the Obama-Biden administration, CHS was first introduced to officials at Ukraine natural gas business Burisma Holdings through redacted. So that's the source right there. Olensendar, can't read it. Alternate translation. Alexander, still can't read it. There's full identification. See attachment CHS. And Alexander traveled to Ukraine and went to Burisma's office and was located 20 minutes away from the city center. By the way, at my job, me and an old man have bet a buck. I bet the Bidens are, and I hope I'm wrong. This is a bet I hope I lose. I bet that the Bidens are going to get away with it because the new status quo has no interest in renewing hope in the American citizen. He bet a buck. This is an old fella that that they are going to go down, both the son and Papa Biden. I'm fascinated. I'm tickled, and I hope he's right. And I'm going to give him $5. So anyway, at this meeting was CHS's former business partner, redacted, Karina. Okay, let's get to the meat and potatoes here. I want to see this report and move on. During the meeting, asked CHS whether CHS was aware of Burisma's board of directors. The reply was no. The board members included the former president or prime minister of Poland, Joe Biden's son. Oh, that rabble rouser. He should have just stayed living in my closet and been all the safer. Hunter Biden, Pojarski, and Burisma hired the former president or prime minister of Poland to leverage his contact in Europe for prospective oil and gas deals. And they hired Hunter. Why is Hunter? But this is an individual that should never have been let into the family business, which just so happens to be the highest office within our country. Although I have a completely renewed view as to who we're told the powers are and what they really are, I'm convinced that Biden is nothing but a man with strings that's just as corrupt as the next guy, whose entire career is built upon lie after lie. And it was easier to get away with those lies back before the internet. And any clip you find of him, my favorite one, it was in the 80s, where he thought he owned a journalist who mentioned that he graduated last in his class, and Biden was like, I was first in my class in an Ivy League school, and it turned out to all be a bunch of BS. Not much has changed here. I'm assuming you guys already know about this, so this is just evidence. We have evidence. Like, what more do we need? We know Hunter violated the Mann Act, and that falls to human trafficking. You buy a prostitute, you pay for their travel, you take them from country to country, you violated the Mann Act. I don't know exactly what he all pled to because Biden controlled the media information when everybody was looking for the stupid submarine. He waited. He knew because the Navy had told him, held that story for 2 days, and then let that story leak. And then right under all the noise of the submarine was Hunter Biden agrees to a plea, which is an admission of guilt. So, all right. Evidence, it's sad. We're just going to go, yeah, that's another example. We can actually prove wrongdoing. With this video, I want to show you, this is the DNC versus the GOP, and aptly titled, I like this chick, Kat Kamak. This is not her. Whoever she is, I like that she really sticks it to the people that just need to get an earful and hear the truth and not just turn the other cheek when it comes to facts. And in this case, okay, there was a video by a specialist who is a Democrat. His job, he is a specialist of gender affirmation and gender reassignment surgery. His example, you could call it a testimony. There was an interview that was being asked to be played at this very hearing. So there was a big hullabaloo. People were losing their minds. The Democrats, the DNC, not a single one of them voted to allow the video to be played. One of them, well, you're going to see. This is why the Democrats lost me years ago and why I feel pushed away, because they're crazy and they pretend facts don't exist. Just watch their behavior. So this is a little medical stuff, and it gets a little descriptive, so be ready. Don't worry, there's no imagery, thankfully. And away we go. Every Democrat voted no, literally voting for censorship.
Committee will come to order. Committee will come to order. Ms. Kamick had asked unanimous consent for the committee to watch the video. There was an objection. I'm going to yield now to Mr. Pallone for the purposes of his objection.
I have looked at the video, but I insist on my objection because I have to be honest, I don't even understand what the person is saying. It's all, to me, it's just almost impossible for us to understand what he's saying and how it relates to what we're discussing here.
This Democrat, basically, I'm gonna be his translator. I think the American people are too stupid to decipher what this expert is detailing, and because I can't really understand it, which is a bunch of baloney anyway, I want to pretend that you all can't understand it, won't be able to understand it, and it'd just be a big old fat waste of your time. So therefore, hey, gender, and then he pulls an Oprah. He gets up and he goes, "You're getting gender reassignment surgery. You're getting gender reassignment. You want a penis? You want a penis? How about you over there? Vagina? Vagina? All right, everybody gets one." So, but they, that part was edited. Sorry.
Even the authentication is difficult. So I insist on the objection, Madam Chair.
Is that as low as I hear?
Instead of a unanimous consent, the committee, I'm going to ask then that the committee vote as to whether or not to see the video. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, nay. No. The ayes have it. Yes, for a recorded vote.
This is ridiculous. I'm going to skip it.
The clerk will call the roll.
You could hear that the no's were louder, but the ayes were much more.
Aye.
They go
Lauda,
one by one.
Bouchon
Waste
votes
of time
aye.
and tax
Hudson
dollars.
Curtis. Aye.
I'm going to get
Crenshaw,
past this because they're just going to agree to show the video, and
Armstrong
the Democrats
votes
get
aye.
up
Fulcher,
and march out as a sign
Fulcher
of
votes
protest. To what, though? To the facts that they don't want the people to know? That's all I can take away from them making such a move, and it's a mockery. It's a complete mockery.
DeGette,
No.
Tonko
No.
votes no.
No.
Clark,
You can't see the truth about what
Dingle-
we're pandering and pushing
Dingle
for
votes no.
minors and children from
Custer,
ages 10 to 12
Custer
and up
votes no.
to go ahead
Kelly,
and get this there. Oh God, it gets
Kelly
kind
votes
of
no.
descriptive
Quadegan,
when there's not enough tissue to
Schreiber-
make a new vaginal canal.
Protect, organize,
Okay.
and preserve a
Lord.
lifetime of photos and videos with MyLeo
Played.
Photos. Find any photo.
Which is why I came here.
Mr. Johnson is not recorded.
Finish your
Johnson votes
aye
aye.
crap. Almost there, I promise. Skip to Malou.
18 noes.
The
You
ayes
bunch
have
of
it.
boring freaking. There we go.
Okay.
So 80% or so of my practice is gender affirming surgery. So I do facial, chest surgery, and genital surgery. But the majority of my practice and sort of where my passion lies is really genital surgery cases.
Can you guys? I'm gonna check out StreamYard right quick. Can you guys hear this? Okay, I need to know. Hit 1 if you can hear the man speaking. I need to know before I agree to proceed, please. 2 if it's just too damn low. But I'm gonna wait a moment. What's up? I see you there. What's up, YouTube? I'm just gonna call you YouTube. 0.5. Yeah, really? Is it that low? Wait, 2 barely. Oh, snap, diggity. All right, I gotta take the risk of the kind of a blowout here. I'm gonna go over here, and this usually we're gonna hear some feedback. What's up, Lewis? Oh, you'll see what it is, Lewis. Okay, a smidgen down. Sorry. All right, this is what the Democrats were voting against anybody hearing, but thankfully, there's enough people, or at the very least, more Republicans. It's still, the irony is never lost on me that I was such a lifelong Democrat, and I'm now happy that the Republicans can take more power because the Democrats are so damn power hungry. It scares me. All right, here we go. Here we go. Going back on a train. Here we go. Cat. No, that's not the. Okay. Here goes. It's as close as I can get it.
So I do a lot of vaginoplasty and a
terrible.
lot of phalloplasty.
Closed caption.
I would just say they're expanding in either direction.
All right, so he's saying, and it is, the audio is terrible. This is why the Democrats didn't want it played and walked out entirely. He is saying that the field of gender reassignment surgery, gender affirmation surgery, is expanding. It's growing so vast, and he's going to talk about how now 70-year-olds, like he talks about it like it's a trending, like a new all the rage thing. Like he talks about it like it's Pogs in the 90s. He talks about it like it's Pokemon when it first came out. It's really, really disturbing when he's talking about mutilation of elderly people and children. And there are states that want to give the full rights of the decision to the son or the daughter, the child, over the parents. And that is where it just becomes, I think the correct term is draconian, when a state of power can supersede your own rights. So I'm sorry that the quality is so poor. I will chime in and explain anything that's necessary, but this had to be played. This information needs to get out.
So yeah, a lot of adolescents presenting for surgical intervention, but also a lot of people that are like in their 70s sometimes coming in for genital surgery, and then everything in between. But the adolescents for sure present some unique challenges. Obviously, there's great evidence supporting pubertal suppression for a whole variety of benefits. But the one thing that is very new is genital surgery in someone that has underwent pubertal suppression. Not so much an issue in someone with assigned female at birth anatomy that undergoes a phalloplasty, because we're creating something with a free tissue transfer or a flap anyway. But a much bigger issue for an individual that's undergoing a penile inversion vaginoplasty. Because we use all of that tissue to basically create the vulva as well as line the internal vaginal canal. And as a specialty, those of us that do a fairly high volume of genital gender affirming surgery, we've maybe done a handful of pubertally suppressed adolescents as a field, and no one's published on it yet.
There's no published data.
is we're just putting our first series together as we're kind of
so let me explain something. He just said there's no published data, which means they are, not only is this an ever expanding field, which does alarm me. I am. It's not that I'm a bigot or I'm afraid of the unknown and that I don't want people to live their best life or anything, but this is something that becomes so convoluted. There's so many compounding issues that could be at play for somebody to make such a loose cannon decision that will forever alter and change their lives. And they never like to talk about the people that go ahead and take the surgery, the medicine, and everything they possibly can to reverse their once impulsive decision. It's not like getting a tattoo just quite. He is talking about they have to borrow tissue from other places and parts of your body to go ahead and create this new, completely unnatural vaginal canal. And him referring to no published data, that means they're freestyling. They are learning as they go. It's so in demand that they have to just, in the moment, just do something so that their patient is somewhat or ends up being satisfied with whatever the case. And don't get me started on the data we have on surgeries that have gone wrong with infections. They need to be cleaned every day. And there is one video I shared of I'm sorry if I forgot the gender because it was changed back and forth. But she now has to, what was it? She has to have like a period every single day of her life. Don't quote me on that. that's something I've played in the past. That's now 3 episodes of my own that I've quoted, and I've not been able to supply it. I will find the time. I will get all these in one place. So I see what kind of works here. Let's keep letting this. I don't want to call him a monster, man, but he's doing this stuff. This is an interview, and this is why the Democrats didn't want it to be heard by the public. They don't want the public to know there are doctors that literally have no point of reference. They're just going off of their imagination and borrowing flesh from anywhere they can get it. And they have a robot he's going to discuss. So let's let it go. You know, the Democrats lost in that hearing. Okay, their nays fell on deaf ears. So the truth is told for once.
But it's really changing things because you don't have enough tissue to line the vaginal canal. So you either have to take a skin graft or take skin from elsewhere or use some artificial product. The way that we're dealing with it is by using a robot, and we're basically performing intra-abdominal components of the surgery. So we're using peritoneum, which is the inner lining of the abdomen, to line most of the vaginal canal.
My.
And by doing that, that allows us to use all of the remaining tissue externally to create a vulva and try to make also an aesthetic
the inside
result.
of a vagina.
So what we just witnessed was an interview
Here's
last
the
week
chick I
from
like.
Dr. Blair Peters, who is a gender affirming surgery expert at the University of Oregon's Health and Science Division. Earlier today, just a few minutes ago, our colleagues on the left said that we didn't know what we were talking about. So when presented with a video that details exactly what it means to conduct surgery on a minor for gender affirming surgery, they left the room. They don't want the facts. And as you heard from the specialist who does these surgeries, they don't know what they don't know. They don't understand the long-term effects. There is not even published information, peer-reviewed information backing up the claims that our colleagues on the left have said. We are here today to fund children's hospitals, not to mutilate them with experimental surgeries that we do not have science and data that backs up the claims that the left has made today. So I stand with my colleagues in funding these children's hospitals, but I also am very disappointed in my colleagues on the left who opted to leave the room in protest and refuse to watch a video from an expert on their own side.
Hold on.
With that,
I
Madam
may have
Chairwoman,
just, I don't want to, let me check y'all out right quick. And I hope you guys have kind of made some sort of opinion based on that information. I hope it was audible enough. That is just alarming. The current generation, the newer generation, and people voluntarily just giving themselves over their bodies, you're guinea pigs. These are guinea pigs, willing guinea pigs. And somehow my crazy mind, my manic brain makes some connection, some non-existent correlation that the COVID breakdown of people just, I don't know, agreeing to get vaccinated and all of the idiocy and having our rights taken away, and then we say thank you when the rights that were already ours are given back. I think it broke something in some people. But that's just my complete theory, and it may not have any credibility. And there's something pretty. I'm on a roll here. One of my customers, we're very politically aligned, and there's another gentleman, military veteran, Marine Corps. He went to Japan, Korea. I invited him to come over, but anyway, I told this one individual that I think this is my most radical theory yet, and I'd understand if he thought it was crazy. He's older than me, like by probably 20 years. But I told him, and this is probably the third time at most I've shared this out loud. When I was a Democrat or a progressive, I'd laugh at people that would say this. But truth is always stranger than fiction. Look at the state of AI. Look at everything that we are capable of. So it's not that wild to me anymore. And I do believe we've seen examples of this. I propose that I do believe, based on Biden, he told me his wife cries because she is a nurse. And she cries when he sees him and hears him speak because her father had dementia and Biden reminds her of her father. And so it emotionally triggers her. That aside, I think he's so out of it that Would it be that crazy to suggest that there are CGI interviews? That is not a wild accusation. I'd be willing to have a discussion with anybody about how that may be insane to you, but is it really that far from possibility? Hell no. What's up, Big Barn? Red Pill, Allie, and everyone. Okay, Patty. All right, y'all. I have a temptation, and then I have the next clip, which is the one I really want to get down to brass tacks. All right, we're gonna experiment with this one. If the audio's crap, I'm moving on to the next. So let's see. That came at Lizzie Fletcher slams
This is a switch
Crenshaw
bike.
claim.
No,
What is this?
this.
Wait. Lizzie Fletcher slams Crenshaw claim transgenderism in minors is social contagion. Then all right, I'm interested. I'm not going to listen to the whole thing. Let's see. Let's give it a chance. Oh man, and this poor guy in this corner that I'm looking at, he's some big military brass guy, and he had to answer questions with Matt Gaetz and other people, just asking about common sense policies about, do you really believe diversity is the strongest weapon for our military? And then they start talking about the genders and the pandering, and this guy, this poor man, he's just a regular male, just a regular dude. He does not know really any of the made up nonsensical genders. He's just trying to tote the line and appear that he is supporting anything that the people above him go ahead and vote for. Strikes me as he's a good military man, but he can take orders. He doesn't have conviction in his own opinion, clearly. Maybe he's just groomed, trained that way. That was heartbreaking to watch. Okay, briefly.
Was mentioned and provided for the record, so I'll just tell everyone what's actually in that study. It has severe selection bias. It's based on a survey in 2015.
Right.
In order to be
You know what? I don't feel like having the mic next to the speaker like that. Let me show you. This is the steak dinner right here. All right, I have to go to my Facebook. This is where I had some hope given to me.
Yes. It's not.
All right, and thank goodness the audio is decent, by God. All right. This was a part of my meal. It was sustenance. It was that water in the desert when I was at the precipice of thirsting till I died. Just hear this man speak.
Is. It's not impeachment. It allows Congress to investigate by giving Congress the full power to get the information they need. It's the way people should go about investigating. So let me put yourselves in our place. Doesn't matter who's in the majority or not. You have somebody who went to the FBI. They had a 1023, which is the form they talk about.
And thank you again to Shamrock. The 1023 is now what I have in my possession. I can read it in its entirety. My concern, it was boring. So that is the physical evidence. And we got Biden. We got Joe Biden on perjury here as well.
This is an informant that the FBI continues to use. They heard that there were payments to bribe, allegedly, the vice president at the time. That the bribe would be hard to follow because there were shell companies that it would take you years to get through it. That was one allegation. We have a president who told the American public in October that he's never spoken to his family about any of the business. He said no one in the
A clear indicator of when a Biden is lying is if their lips are moving.
family had ever gotten money from China. Well, now that is proven not to be correct.
False.
We now have IRS whistleblowers come forth
Protect them.
saying that the Justice Department
Preferential treatment.
used their power differently than David Weiss or Garland has said to the American public and to Congress and Senate. They also said that we all know the statute of limitations ran out for the most serious part when it comes to the Biden family on taxes. But the IRS in whistleblower, who when asked questions in that hearing, said no, it was on the table to extend that so the statute of limitations wouldn't run out. And Davis Weiss let it go. So now you have the president saying one thing that we've proven is not true.
This is a huge deal. and I hope people take this seriously. All right, this oversight committee and everybody that's looking into it, they're doing their due diligence. This needs to go somewhere. This is the win that the American people need. The most passionate Biden supporters you have are blue no matter who. I'll vote for the lesser of two evils. This right here, we need. We need to see that corruption is punished no matter what level or title you hold in your corrupt seat and office. So please, I beg to every possible person, be it left, right, center, see to it that justice is brought to the Biden family. You screwed us over with the Clintons. You screwed us over with, well, Obama, the drone strikes, and everything else we found out. And you've gone after the one, I won't call him honest, but he was the most honest we've had. Trump, the one guy who had literally the only thing you could have gone after him for was shit I think he did when he was a contractor in New York. That has the statute of limitations absolutely imposed. There is nothing concrete. Everything has been a literal creation, manifestation of our own FBI. Go ahead and take advantage of this, government. Anybody that's listening, handlers, or my refrigerator, or the TV, and all the devices. Remember, our Fourth Amendment is right on the cusp of being superseded if we allow that bipartisan bill. That means the Democrats and the Republicans that want to push it. If there's a warning label on a device that can record you and film you, that means they have every right to use whatever they have if you're being investigated or otherwise. So right now, I don't know, just give us a win. Just one. Put them away. Lock them up.
You've got IRS whistleblowers saying something when it comes to government treating the Bidens different. You've got an informant claiming that the Biden family had been bribed. Should you ignore that, or you should investigate that? The only way you can investigate that is through an impeachment inquiry, so the committee would have the power to get all the documents that they would need. What I said last night, and I said it before, when more of this continues to unravel, it rises to the level of impeachment inquiry where you would have the Congress to have the power to get to all these answers. I would think the Biden family would want to answer these questions as well, provide the documents instead of holding them back. We're watching this administration use government much like Richard Nixon used by denying us to get the information that we need. So that's what's the answer to the question. Yes, sir.
I'm so glad he said that, because that will resonate with as many of the OG generation as we have. I know a lot of you knows what he meant. I asked a coworker today if they knew who Richard Nixon was, and he doesn't know. He didn't know. And God, I don't know. I don't want to get anybody any further disenfranchised. But how can you not know who? Okay, anyway.
An impeachment inquiry allow congressional investigators that the oversight committees and judiciary committees don't already have? And how would you respond to Democrats' contention that the 1023 was in the possession of the Justice Department during the Trump administration under Attorney General Barr, and they found it not to be credible enough to move forward with an investigation?
Not true. Not true.
Thank you.
If you listen to what Barr came forward, Barr said he moved the 1023 when he found out about it to I believe it was the Philadelphia Department of the Justice Department. That Justice Department came back and said that, and don't quote me because I got to get the right terms, exactly what they said, but they said there was more merit and more information. When have you found a Justice Department of attorneys to find more information than the FBI? The FBI did nothing with it. And you raise a very good point here because you bring up that. Well, we have now found from the IRS agents, the whistleblowers who came forth, that they were denied this document while they were investigating. Oh. Not only were they denied the document, when they had a meeting, then they were going to talk about it, they asked to be a part of it, and they were denied to be there. Now that raises lots of questions. You never want people to question that type of thing. You want to be forthcoming. So what an impeachment inquiry does, it gives us the apex of the power of Congress for Republicans and Democrats to gather the information that they need. So when we're continuing that, you raise a question like this, wondering what's right or wrong, you would want the truth as well, just as you're covering it for the American public. What that simply provides.
Sorry, YouTube is actively effing with this channel. every single short and video that I've been able to see that I've appealed is not in the algorithm. So I'm going to go ahead and request, if you find that this is something worthy, please just smash the thumbs up button. It goes a long way. Share if you can. Tell somebody, hey, Progressive Patriot. That's all it takes, and they'll find me immediately on YouTube. I want what we share here to be heard. And our next open panel, and all of you with every insight that you can offer. And Stuck in the Middle will be returning with Josh and I on Rumble as soon as that studio is built. Back to the video.
Is that the American public has a right to know,
Damn
and
right.
this allows Congress to get the information to be able to know the truth. Yes, ma'am.
What do you say to the moderates in your party who say you continue to side and appease the right wing on many issues, including
Such as what?
So, what does that mean?
Talking about an impeachment inquiry of President.
So doing an honest to goodness investigation that would be necessary, because we're talking about perjury from a sitting president. We're talking about being compromised and paying monies and accepting monies from enemies of our country. And this journalist, whoever she is, guaranteed CNN, MSNBC. What would you say to those who think you're just appeasing your own moderates and shut the hell up, lady? We're talking about a criminal and facing justice, something that's becoming alien in this very country, which is supposed to be the example for the rest. It just turns out we're the best bullshitters.
Biden on appropriations, on a long list of things.
Well, I don't know, because you haven't quoted anybody. You just say something. You frame some brand of something. But let me answer your question. It's very forceful and truthful in this. I have nothing to do about who in the party. This is about America. And I raise to you. I've watched you on TV. You write every day about covering government. So right now you have a president
called out
who told you and every other American that he's never talked to as a family about business, and they never got $1 from China. You now know that's not true. You have a president, while he was vice president, that got 16 out of 17 payments from Romania while he was president. You now had never known that before he was elected, but you now have a document that the FBI had that didn't further to investigate, even though the Justice Department said there was merit, that said they were bribed and told they had to run through shell companies, which you never knew about, but now you know there are shell companies, and what they made this claim to be, you find that the form of which to pay it is actually what came through.
This means that the Bidens, bearing that this is absolutely true, which is my assumption, I'll say allegedly, they had everything in preparation. This is not their first rodeo. They have a ton of shell companies, and you heard the quotation earlier where this investigation, if ever followed through, would take years. It would take years because they have so many shell companies that you'd have to go through so much effort that the interest would be dropped by the time it ever got the attention it needed. Well, here we are right now. The opportunity is present.
You now have IRS whistleblowers who are not Republican, philosophically, who now say they were denied the ability to do their job. And in trying to do their job in the investigation of the Biden family, they were denied the 1023. Even in meetings where David Weiss has said one thing to them and different to the American public, different than the Attorney General had promised the American public, he said that they should be prosecuted. But now we have found out that the department actually called the Biden family attorneys, told them ahead of time where documents were, treated other people in politics differently, even went to the inaugural committee.
Wait. Our own DOJ? No. Who gave Biden a tip-off?
Family attorneys be prosecuted. But now we have found out that the department actually called the Biden family attorneys, told them ahead of time where documents were, treated other people in politics differently, even went to the inaugural committee. Why would they give a heads up to the inaugural committee? Why would they be denied the ability to go forward? They believe the investigation was hampered using...
Because they wanted to clinch in Biden's win, which was already premeditated.
...political purposes to treat them differently. Now, as an elected official, having all this information, Should I ignore it? No. Congress has a responsibility for an investigation wing. All I'm saying is, and I'm sure you'd probably ask the same question, where's the truth? You've got to get to the bottom of the truth. And the only way Congress can do that is go to impeachment inquiry that gives Republicans and Democrats the ability to get all the information. Hey, I think I got
That's
to
it.
open
He's
the
gonna open the floor and go speak some truth. I can only hope. Like he seems sincere. That man wants to. He had not just the right answers because they were great sound bites, but he put it perfectly. When I'm not doing this for or I'm not doing this for the GOP. This is something that needs to be done for America. And that's exactly it. We need an example of those that hide within the shadows of power and their connections and our legal pay to play political corruption, the swamp, the 1%, the elite, the deep state. We need an example that the law, as it applies to us, when we break it, when we run a red light, just as much as you can count on getting pulled over if you get spotted, we need to be able to know with some level of faith that those in power will see some justice. We'll see the consequences of their actions and not just be a pipe dream of the everyday American that we ever feel equal once more. Okay. So hello there, guys. I see the comments are rolling in. There's another clip I was going to play that I want to play, but I need to break it down. And I want to say one thing that was not prepared nor scripted, and I want to make it clear. It has to do with a community post I did. Don't worry, though. I'm going to keep my eye on the bigger picture always, okay? And these are the world events that need to continue to stay in the limelight, okay? The sound of freedom. And why, Oprah, did you guys hear about Oprah's backlash? She criticized the sound of freedom. I don't have the full details. She's getting called out. Here's some things I learned about Oprah. Total creepy woman, okay? She has a South African school. This is probably not news to you. Isaac Cappy spoke about her before he was moved on and along. And Monique is a popular comedian who has been blacklisted because of Oprah's powers. So Oprah Winfrey has or had South African schools, no cameras, and there was widespread sexual misconduct on children, period. And she was supposed to go to South Africa and apologize to the families and the community. Didn't happen. Number two, there was this Brazilian kind of holistic doctor who was making the rounds on the Brazilian airwaves for being able to do crazy, like you can tell they're fake or whatever the case, like holistic surgeries, the surgeries where it looks like you put your hand in somebody's stomach and take something out, like Man on the Moon. All right, this guy was doing that kind of crap. And he was also known to help people that had PTSD, went through trauma. So here's some allegations. It was well known that he had some problems in his home country of Brazil. What does Oprah do but gives him the spotlight here in our country? He becomes a big name in our country. And after she shared his name, he blows up. Then what happens? What often happens with people with huge communities and admirers. He took advantage of that power, and he had the women that were already traumatized. He seedless graped them. There was one woman specifically that came forward who was traumatized from being, seedless graped, and this was what he had her do to heal the trauma. This is a trigger warning because I'm going to describe it as it was explained to me, and it was verified. He had her service him with her hand until he climaxed. And after that, and that was in his complete psychotic, narcissistic way. That was his way of having her relive it to get through it. And he gave her a freaking geo crystal rock and said to keep that and rub that whenever she thinks about it. And I don't know if justice followed this guy or if he got extradited or what, but if you just simply Google or DuckDuckGo Oprah's punk ass right now, the scales are tipping with her being in the public favor. And her, the Stedman, the guy that she's dating, everybody and their sister that's ever worked at their home for years, including the people that do the building, the renovations, the gardens. They say there's nothing there, and she has admitted to only having that make-believe relationship so that she appears normal, that she can be more accepted by the people. What's going on there that she needs to feel accepted? She's immensely successful. And even further, she has admitted back in 2010, she wrote a tell-all book, and her family has disowned her, essentially ostracized her, because she said she grew up poor and she had 2 cockroaches that were her pets. All of these were lies, and her quote was, "People don't want to buy my book because I'm boring. I have to. This is what the people want." So that's one of our darlings in the spotlight. And I'm not here for cancellation. I'm just saying, you see bullshit, man, treat bullshit the way it needs to be treated. Now, the one thing I want to mention, I stand in solidarity with Casey, aka C-Fouls, Brennan, and some of the nonsense they have recently found themselves in. I'm not making a huge deal out of this. I'm just painting a picture from my community post. Anybody that is feeling targeted and bullied by people with larger platforms or by any hive minds, this is going to be not a safe place or space. There's no such thing. This is a place where you can at least be and speak your truth without fear of being judged, and perhaps you can hope for some camaraderie, and we will have each other's back. That's all I want to make it clear. Each and every one of you I consider to be just like family. You guys keep me going. You keep this heart pumping. I see you, by the way, Slim Reaper. I've promised you so many times to call, but just know I'm trying to do better, be better, always, forever. You guys keep me accountable. You keep me strong. And remember, I mentioned this last time, I did get some news from my doctors after blood work, and starting April 14th, you're going to see a new and improved Eli. Like there's been something going on that I knew something was wrong, and now that we know, it can be treated, and it's just going to make I'm excited, because for many years I was wondering what's going on. With that, Lewis, you haven't called, by the way, okay? We got to see to it with our plans, my brother, okay? Don't forget, Barbie is a woke piece of crap. I don't know, I've heard a lot of things, so I'm going to go through the list, all right, as I can see it here. And thank you to one and all, especially you lurkers. Base Girl, I sent you a message on Facebook. Queen Survivor. Yeah, I know. No, Queen, you're absolutely right. You ain't kidding. That one girl, Allie. God, I love seeing your face. And you're conservative. Behave myself, never. Keep the peels, my brother from another mother. And I think I got it. Yeah, please help us fight the algorithm. We are literally going to war with YouTube. Okay? And until Josh and I return to Rumble, I'm going to keep fighting that good fight. And it's funny, YouTube assumes that my titles are inappropriate or racist when I'm just sharing the literal quotes and titles of the movie that I was watching and the clips there within. YouTube, y'all need to just be picking it up here, okay? We're getting tired of you. That's it, y'all. Is Larry here? Hi, Larry. All right, good night, one and all. Much love, much respect. Catch you on the flip. Look at me talking all groovy, cool, man, hip, like all the kids. You capping, you busting, son. Ooh, went off. Can I just clap on, clap off? Car scar? Car scar! I see you.